Here we go once again. I made sure that my mic is plugged in because sometimes I don't do that before stream, and that ends up making shit much worse. But yeah, we're just gonna wait for chat to come in. I have enabled some specific features because there were issues last time, just to cool down, you know. But yeah. So hello. Today, you may have noticed that I released a video. It's pretty big. It's a pretty big video. So I'm going to be busy. Well, I'm not going to be busy. I don't know what to say really. But I decided, just to promote this new video coming out, why not? Why not look at a tier list? Well, why not make a tier list for all of the arcs in Gintama? Now, I've seen a few other tier lists that are like, ranking all of the serious arcs in Gintama. Gintama is not just the serious arcs, no matter what Twitter tells you. So, we're going to rank all of the arcs, from 2-episode arcs to the Silver Soul arc, which is like 29 episodes or whatever. So yeah, let's just get into this and go from the beginning. I've tried to do some chat things to make sure what happened last time doesn't happen again. But yeah. Let's go. Okay, I guess we're going to start. These are all mismatched and all that, so I'm just going to start from, I guess, the Four Devas arc. Four Devas arc, it's one of my favorite arcs, so I'm probably going to put it in... maybe not double S tier, but definitely S tier at least. Because, let's see, you got all the great stuff with Jirocho and Pirako in that arc. Their whole sort of relationship, bonding, getting closer together, them sort of growing as characters. The whole fight with Jirocho and Gin is probably one of the best animated in the series, alongside the other fights within this arc, which are just great. Yeah, the stuff with Otose and Jirocho's relation to her, it's pretty great. Yeah, just it was also the first time I think it was one of those all the characters get together to help the main cast fight off stuff. So yeah, those are some reasons I would give as to why it's probably at least an S tier arc for now. Next arc is the Afro Arc from when Katsura decided to put on an afro and try and get into the Shinsengumi. Now, I love Saito, I believe that was his name. I just love all silent type characters, and the fight between him and Katsura at the end was good. I also liked the comedy in general. The comedy was great. It isn't only a 2-episode arc, but I still think that's worthy of A tier. Barbershop Arc. It was alright. It's a pretty decent arc. It's only 2 episodes. The stuff with the Shogun and the Shinsengumi and all that, it's good. It's good. It's mostly visual comedy, which I think is nice. Gintama does well with visual comedy, but still, I'm not sure it really soars to A tier. I'd definitely give it at least B tier, though, because it was still fun. Okay, the Beam Sword Arc. This is the one with Shinpachi's sort of big brother type figure, Hajime. It's a good arc, but also not the most memorable. It was one from Inkohosen, so it has some great animation, and the fights are good. It's a good arc. I'm not sure it's great, though. So, I'll put it above the Barbershop Arc, but below the Afro Arc. Yeah. Okay, this has Tama in it, but, I wish these were a bit better, labeled and shit. I think this is the first arc with Tama. The first arc with Tama, it's alright. Wait, actually, hold on. Which arc is... what the fuck? Which arc is this? Is this the... I think this might... yeah, this is the original Tama arc. But anyway, for Tama arc, I'm gonna put that in C tier. I just... It was okay. It wasn't great. It was a bit slow. It was fun, but it could have been faster. The Encounter arc, where Shinpachi has to try and confess his feelings to a girl and whatnot. Let's see here. For that, I'd probably give it an A tier. Yeah, I'd probably give that an A tier. Just because of the second episode, which I consider one of the funniest in the show. It's not quite to the Afro Arc, but still pretty good. Let's see, the Scabbard Arc, or whatever the fuck, the one about the sword with an eyeball in it. It definitely had a lot of eccentric moments. It's one of the weirder arcs in Gintama, with like shit slinging and all of that, and weird family relations between well, I wouldn't say inanimate objects, they're just Amanto shaped like swords, but still, it had a lot of weird concepts that I think were used alright, but still kind of, B tier. B tier, definitely. Okay, the arc where Kagura fucking pretends to be dead. I'm not gonna remember I don't know all of the arc names off the top of my head. The second episode is definitely better than the first, but still, it is a very funny arc in general. I wouldn't quite put it at A tier, but I would probably put it at the top of B tier. A lot of these are probably going to be B or A tier. Okay, the Farewell Shinsengumi Arc. I love the Farewell Shinsengumi Arc. I think there's a lot of great stuff in it. It is kind of eclipsed by the Shogun Assassination Arc before it, but I still think it's definitely worth the watch. The stuff with Sasaki and Nobume was definitely much needed and very much appreciated. She didn't really get too much development after that point in the story, but, well, the development that she and Sasaki got at that point was pretty great. I'm feeling just a tiny bit conflicted about where I want to put the placement, though, since it's great. It's a very good arc. The stuff with that's the first arc where Utsuro is also appearing, and that's pretty cool as well. But a lot of it is sort of set up for the next two arcs after it. It's very good on its own, but there is also just a lot of setup for the next two arcs after it. So I'll probably put it at like the top of A tier, not quite S tier. Okay, Gender Bend Arc. Pretty good. Pretty good arc overall. Very funny. I like the dynamic between Kyubei and Otai in this arc because it gives a little bit more development to Kyubei's whole sort of choosing between whatever gender she wants to be and all that. And it's always fun just having gender bend episodes. I wouldn't quite say it's probably between these two arcs. I'd probably say, yeah. Spring, the Haunted Spring Arc, it was fun. So I can say a lot of these they're fun. There's a lot of good concepts in every arc, basically, and it's hard to say that any of them are bad, necessarily. I'd probably give it a mid-B tier. Like, it's not, just like, yeah, I'd probably put it right there. It's not great. The family stuff is nice, and I like the ghost concept in general, the stand stuff and all that. But still, I wouldn't really consider it A tier quite. It's just there are so many good arcs in Gintama that you kind of forget about some of them in the process, or like, those are still good. By most anime standards, they're pretty good. But in Gintama standards, they're not as good. Okay, next we got the Silver Soul Arc. I don't know if they have it divided into the after war and before war stuff, but obviously I'm going to put this at an S tier. I don't quite consider it as good as the Four Devas arc, just because of how extended it is. I still consider it a great arc, a great finisher for the series, but I'm not sure I would put it quite as high as like double S or whatever. Still great arc. Still great arc though. Settles gives a lot of conclusions that were needed for the series. Okay, Glasses Arc. Oh, what's this? Mordecai 7274. Did you see Antoon's drama remaster video about you? I saw the first few minutes of it because I decided to, like, why not? It's fucking Antoon's, get a quick laugh out of that. He claimed that I took down the video without ever watching it because of this one Discord message that I sent back in the day that it was released, and I was like, yeah, I kind of skimmed through it, didn't think it was really all that interesting, and then he tried to use that as like, oh, he never even watched the video before he striked it, and it's like, bruh, I watched it after I sent that message the day of. You do know that I made the claim like the day after the video came out, so yeah. There was that. But yeah, I looked at the first few minutes. I didn't really want to look at anything more. I'd already seen the video before. He had some added sections on it. I know he called me an SJW at some point. That was funny. But yeah. Okay, Glasses Arc. Definitely B tier. B tier all the way. It's funny. It's funny. Just nothing amazing. Then you got this one arc about like the gangster or whatever. It was good. It was good. Not quite as good as some arcs though. The first episode kind of dragged for me. It's only 2 episodes as well, and so it didn't have too much time for that. So I'll put it in C. The Hard-Boiled Arc. This was an arc that initially I didn't quite like that much, but I grew to like it a lot more as time went on. So I'll definitely put it somewhere in B tier. What arc is... fuck, I should have known which arc these were. Okay, the fucking Galaxy Kingdom Bitch 48 arc. You know... I like the commentary on the whole idol industry. There's obviously a lot of potential right for that, and I think that it's executed pretty well. I'd put that near the top of B tier probably, right under the Beam Sword arc. Fucking this arc, the one about the old man and the ramen shop owner. I really didn't like the first episode, but I feel like the second episode kind of pulled it back up. So you know what? I'm gonna put this in C, bring this down to D. Yeah, I think that works. Okay, the fucking the host arc, the one where they have the woman there. It's basically like a 2 episodes, 2 episodes of the host club, and I like the host club episodes usually. They're fun, and these were probably the peak of the host club episodes, so I would probably put it near the top of B. It's a very funny, very short arc. This arc, the one where Gin has like a kid, probably top of C. It's okay. I don't feel like it really subverted too many expectations with how it went. There were some fun jokes in there. Not too memorable though. The Jugem arc. Instant at least here because of the out of context moment of Hasegawa flinging shit at people. I think I mentioned that in the video, but yeah. Definitely at least B for that alone. Kagura, I think that's the Kagura's boyfriend arc. Yeah, the Kagura's boyfriend arc. Probably like mid B. A lot of the slip arc episodes are pretty alright. None of them are really that great, but they're good. The Kagura's boyfriend arc had some fun stuff in there. Not too memorable, but still pretty alright. Then we got the Kentama Arc. I would probably put this at S tier. Actually, no, I'll put it at the top of A. Kentama Arc. Very good arc. Just fun. I keep using the word fun, but yeah, that's the word I would describe a lot of these fucking arcs. The Kentama arc had a lot of great stuff about just family in general, how it can come in various places, and that you shouldn't just align yourself with one thing if it means that. No, fucking, what am I talking about? It had a lot to do with how a person can't be replaced based on removing all of their flaws, and that inherently makes them better. It doesn't, because you have people and their flaws, which make them who they are. And the stuff... I mean, the best part of the Kintama arc is the ending, we all know that. But, yeah, it's a very good arc. The fucking Amanto Dog episode, I'd probably put it in A tier, but like the bottom of A tier. It's a very heartfelt... you wouldn't expect it to be as heartfelt as it is from the start, because you feel like it's going to be a subversion of a heartfelt, but it actually is pretty heartfelt along with the comedy, and I feel like it's one of the better ones to mix those two together. The Shinpachi Gamer arc, where he's an epic gamer and he says the N-word. I'd probably put this arc in a B tier. somewhere in B tier. Yeah, I feel like right here between the Beam Saber arc and the Galaxy Kingdom Bitch 48 arc is pretty good placement. You know, the dream sequences, not dream sequences, the delusions that everyone has for their girlfriends and boyfriends and all that, and the various abominations that they create throughout are always fun to watch. Yeah. Yeah, it's good. Love Potion arc. That was the OVA arc. It's definitely a B tier. Probably put it on the lower end of B tier. It's just not too memorable. The shipping stuff is fun. Fuck, I need to stop saying fun. The shipping stuff is interesting, if only for the fact that the mangaka uses it so that he can intentionally shit on everyone's expectations of what can be done. But that's pretty much it. Well, I do not know what some of these arcs are. I think that's the Benisakura arc. Everyone loves the Benisakura arc. I am one that does also like it, but it's like mid A tier. The stuff with fucking it's one of the first arcs in Gintama that really makes you go, wow, that was good. But it's like, in retrospect, there are so many better arcs in there, to the point that it's like, wow, this is still good, but it's not quite as good, you know? You know what I'm saying? Not quite sure what this arc is. The 2-episode arc with Okita's sister. S tier, definitely S tier. It's probably the best one. It's probably, okay, retract that statement. It's probably like the third best 2-episode arc in the series. It's the best serious 2-episode arc in the series, definitely. It packs so much into such a small space, but gives such great character development for Okita that I really love it. And yeah. Monkey Island arc, or Screwdriver arc, or whatever. You know, it's pretty good. I feel like the 3rd episode kind of bogged it down just a little bit. The whole thing is very B tier, I would think. Just better than the Scabbard arc or whatever. Then there's this arc, the fucking one about Crystal Ketsuno, the Diviner arc, I think it's called. You know, Gekkomaru is cool. Seimei is cool. Domon and Seimei's relationship is interesting. It's relatable. Yeah, I'd put it on a higher end of B tier. The Otsu arc. Now, the Otsu arc, it and I have an interesting relationship because, like, I wasn't really feeling any of the main Otsu episode. One of the episodes, I just don't really like Otsu as a character too much. And I liked how they kind of kept her to the sideline while doing this. And the last episode slapped, but most of the arc was pretty meh. It's a pretty meh arc as a whole, I'd think. I know people really I know there are a lot of people that like it. I'm not that high up on it. Probably put it at like the bottom of B tier. The Wii or whatever the fuck arc. I would put this probably high A tier. Probably just before Pharaoh Shinsengumi. It's always fun to look back on. It's a great arc. Lots of gamer humor, but in the good sense, not in the fucking cringe sense. So yeah, character pull arc, probably lower A tier. The entire idea is super fucking creative and is something that really only a show like Gintama could do. So I appreciate it based on that fact alone. And it's really well executed as far as it goes. It's just that there are better. There's nothing wrong with it. It's just there are better. Okay, fucking prison arc. It's a mid B tier. Mid B tier. Not too much to say about it. It's good. That's all I have to say. Rakyu Decisive Battle Arc. People either love or hate this arc. I really like it. I would probably put it above Farewell Shinsengumi, but below Kentama. Half of it does kind of feel a little bit slow starting out. I will definitely admit that. But as it goes along, it just keeps building steam and gets so much better as it keeps continuing and going on. The shit with Kamui and Umibozu, and even like some of the fights with the three raging stars or whatever the fuck, those are all very interesting, very fun, very great for character development. Good job. Red Spider Arc. I think this is the first I'm going to put in double S. No one seems to talk about the Red Spider Arc too much, but I feel like it's one of the best arcs in the series. The fight scene was definitely great. It's probably one of my favorite fights in Gintama for the stylization of how, not only how Jiraiya moves around in the entire thing, but the sort of composition in general of the fights and how unique it is from the rest of the others in the series, the way that it goes to black and white at certain points and how it conveys between that and Gin's own sort of flashbacks to turn to color. I feel like that's all really well executed and stylized, and I just feel like the arc is really underrated and should be talked about a little bit more. Renjo Arc. It's an A-tier arc. I'll definitely say that. Probably between Benisakura and Afro. Actually, no, I'll probably put it right below Benisakura. The thing that I like about the Renjo arc is the underlying theme of, like, communism within the entirety of the Renjo race and how they're all being controlled by the same group of people, basically, passed down through generations. That's just a computer or whatever the hell. I like that whole representation. The stuff with Elizabeth and my boy Katsura is always good as well. I love Katsura. He's my favorite character in the series. So yeah. The fucking reunion arc, I guess is what it would be called. I'd probably put that in a mid-B tier. It's executed fine enough, but I feel like it could have also been better. Could have been more done with it. The one where people thought Okita stabbed a guy or whatever, that arc. It's good. Not very memorable. Yeah, probably put it about here. The old arc or fucking princess arc or whatever that one's called. Probably put it at a higher mid B. The Turtle Princess was a relatable character. I feel like I'm going to relate to her more as I get older and actually feel like I'm losing myself or whatever. It's a very relatable concept if conveyed in a really weird way. You know, beauty on the inside, that sort of stuff. It's good. Yep. Santa Arc. Mid-B, definitely. Probably between the boyfriend and the confinement arc, whatever I called it, prison arc. It's got some fun Santa humor, plays off Kagura's own innocence and the whole thing, makes for some good comedy. Okay, here we go. One of my favorite arcs in the series, the Scandal arc. I'm putting this, I wouldn't put it a double S tier. It's so good though. It's like the condensation of the best arcs in the series, of the best parts of the comedy. So I'll put it at like between Silver Soul and Four Davis arc. That's the best that I can probably do. But the shit in those two episodes is legendary. It's some of the best comedy in the entire series. I absolutely love it. I love every second of it. It's great. It's good. I would watch those episodes at basically any time, without fail. Shinigami Arc, the Soul Reaper Arc. Definitely very high, probably low B tier, mid B tier actually. Actually, you know what? Fuck it. Right below Benisakura. Asaimon is such a not fun. She's such a good character. I really like her. I kind of wish she was used more. But yeah. Which arc is this one? Oh, this is the Shinsengumi Crisis Arc. Okay. I'm going to put that in S tier. I love the Shinsengumi Crisis Arc. It is, it's about the infiltration of Ito into the Shinsengumi, and actually has Bonsai fight Gin for the first time. The fights in that arc are very well conveyed. I liked seeing more Bonsai for the first time. Yeah. Yeah. The emotions of Hijikata overcoming the sword and all that. Yeah. Okay, the fucking solitary confinement arc or whatever it's called. B tier definitely. Probably on the lower end. It's mostly just sort of built. The first episode stands on its own, but the second episode is mostly building up to one good joke, and that's not a bad thing or anything. It's just sort of, mid tier. I believe this is the Shogun Assassination Arc. Is this? I think so. I'm going to put the Shogun Assassination Arc, probably the best arc in the entire series. It's amazing from start to finish. Great in comedy, great in action, great in the emotional sense. There is so much that this arc does right. It's probably... I don't think there's anything that could really top it. Soul Switch Arc. A tier, probably lowest A tier. Like, it's a great comedy arc. There's a lot of fun stuff. But it also... it does sort of play into some of the tropes a bit more than you'd think. But, that doesn't really mean it's a downside or anything. It does those tropes well. Oh, that's S tier. Oops. Lower end of A tier. But, yeah. Cat's Arc. I don't know what I would call this. It's probably a higher B tier. Probably right above the... right above the gamer arc, the gamer's arc. It's Gintoki as a cat, and Kondo as a gorilla. What more could you ask for? Tama's inner body shit, whatever. Higher, probably top of B tier. The stuff with Tama in general I like stuff with Tama other than her first arc. Yeah, I feel like it's a good arc. The game, it's got more gaming humor. Obviously, Gintama is loaded with gaming humor. But this stuff inside Tama's body was really creative. The shit with antibodies and white blood cells, the representations for that, and the usage of her knight, which looked like Gintoki. I liked all of that. I like it. Thorny Arc. Mid S tier, definitely. I love every arc in S tier and above. I love, but the Thorny Arc is probably one of my favorites. So I'm gonna put that at the top of S tier. I love the Thorny Arc. The Shinsengumi related arcs are always some of my favorite ones. Just for you can probably tell by how many of them are in S tier, but I really do like the shit with the Shinsengumi in general, and especially characters like Hijikata, Okita, the main three, and Kondo. Which arc is this one? Which arc is this one? Fucking... Whoa. Oh, this is the post... yeah, there is the post winning or losing or post-fight stuff for the Gintama Silver Soul Arc. I would probably actually put that above the pre, just because of the ending. Because the ending is actually legendary. I love the ending of the series in general. I feel like it's very well conveyed. But the entire subversion aspect, where you feel like it's going to end at the first part, but then it doesn't, that shit was great. It really does sort of cement the series in the history books for just how out there it really was throughout, from beginning to end. Okay, next we got the Time Skip Arc, I think it was called. It's got good humor. It's got some good memorable humor. That's about it. Cat Girl Arc, or whatever. It's basically an episode and a half. It's a very mid-tier arc. I'd probably put it right at B. There's not much to say about it. Oh, this one's a difficult one. The arc where Umibozu was introduced. I really was not a huge fan of the first episode he was introduced in. It kind of builds steam across the course of the episode, so I'll probably put it like right above the Hot Springs arc in B tier. Ooh, the Take Me Skiing arc or whatever it's called. What would I put for that? What would I put for that? It's kind of harder to rank the humorous arcs just because of how varied in the comedy it usually is, but how pretty good all of them are. For this one specifically, I'd probably put it right under the character pull arc. Just for the outlandish shit they do in the second episode. Like, that half of the stuff in there comes right out of nowhere, and I am totally for it. Yep. Then there's this. What's this? Oh, the Yagyu Arc. Mid S tier. Probably right below the Confessions arc, but above Silver Soul. I don't feel like talking too much about the Yagyu Arc. It's just like, it's got the great toilet paper episode. It's got the shit with Hijikata facing the ketchup guy. It's a lot of great stuff in there. A lot of memorable stuff. Gintama has so many S tier arcs, I swear. Oh, the Yoshiwara's Burning Arc. Okay, you know what? I feel like I need to move some of these down just so that I don't clog S tier too much. There's just so much good shit for Gintama. Okay, I'll probably... You know what, fuck it. I'm keeping them all in S tier. They deserve S tier. They're godly. Fuck you. You know what, actually, I'll take this. I'll put it right above Confession Arc. And I'll put Thorny Arc in double S tier. That's how we'll compromise. Well, this is very highly vague. Oh, this is the Courtesan of a Nation arc. Ooh, that's an S tier right there. Introduction of Oboro. Conflict in that whole thing was very memorable and good. Great. I'd probably, like, put it right below there. Actually, now that I'm thinking about it, I think I'll put the Yoshiwara's Burning Arc right below the Yagyu Arc. The Keep Whatever's in Your Bag arc. The one about Mutsu. It's good. It's good. Lower A tier. The Mother arc. It's kind of lower B tier. There's not much to say about it. It's fine. Not very memorable. Actually, you know, I'm gonna put that in mid C tier. Not one of the more memorable arcs. Now to figure out what these last three are. It's Gin and Kondo on the floor. Arc. Gin with the fan. Arc. Fuck me. last three, and I don't know. Okay, so Kondo and Gin are on the floor. Can you guys help me? Oh, I'm really trying here. Probably can't. Monkey versus Thick Snake. What are people even saying in this chat? You know what? I'm just gonna leave it there. Whatever these three arcs are. Sorry, I can't remember all of them based on these images, at least. But yeah, there's my arc. There's my arc tier list. You're welcome, America. I'll probably see you again in my next video, which will come out at some point, probably. It took me a long time to make that one, but I'm still on the grind, and I'm probably gonna do another live stream at some point, just for fun. But thanks for coming for this short little live stream. I'll probably repost to the second channel. See you all in the next